good. Wear that sunscreen. Light colored clothing, lightweight clothing that can breathe is also good as well. So please keep that in mind. Just stay a little bit safer out in that heat as it builds Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and perhaps even Friday this week. It is not looking great. So radar really quick, we have a little bit of activity between kind of Shenandoah County, let's say, between Winchester and Harrisonburg. So I know some of you wanted this rain. I think I saw on the PM Update comments section on CapitalWeatherGang.com that there is some good rain out there for the first time since mid-July, so I'm very happy. And the other thing to report is that wildfire smoke with this pattern will just continue to be pushed into our area. It is continuing to create hazy skies for us, and not always pleasant to experience, especially in other parts of the United States. We have better compromised air quality. In very few places you can see in the whites have smoke-free conditions, so keep that in mind as well. All right, I have got for you CapitalWeatherGang.com on Twitter, on Facebook, and on YouTube. So let us know anytime you need us. We're at CapitalWeatherGang.com or simulcasting to you tonight on these three platforms. Remember, sunset is coming to you earlier and earlier, but we still have almost 14 hours of day length. We are under 14 hours now, so that is the unfortunate thing. We are shortening those days between sunrise and sunset, but at least 8:11 p.m. still not too bad. After 8 p.m. for those evening sunset lovers, you're feeling pretty okay at this point in the summer. So let's talk about rainfall. Looking into the past 7 days, it's been very hit or miss. So I want you to keep that in mind. It's just the kind of the nature of what we've been able to accomplish with kind of the showers and storms. They're very hit or miss this time of year. So some of you there in the white and the light gray, especially in the Shenandoah Valley, have been feeling it. The farmers, the gardeners, I've heard you really need some water. And Crystal, you are not able to hear me right now. Let's see, it looks like my sound levels are okay. And David, thank you very much. I'm glad I just had to click something. And all right, keep me posted on technical difficulties. I'm sorry. Thank you for everyone. Eric, David, and Genevieve, appreciate you checking in. Come back out and then restart, and it worked for you. Excellent. I will have to be keeping that in mind. It's very hot this week, says Arlene. Yes, it is not looking great for much of the region. Let's show you what we were talking about earlier, but let me finish the rain and drought situation. We do have a spot of droughts kind of in the greater Virginia, West Virginia region, but we're getting some rain there tonight, which is some great news. And looking ahead the next 7 days, a little bit more can be expected, even around points like Harrisonburg, which are abnormally dry and maybe slightly into the drought situation. But month on, the forecast for the month forward looking pretty good. For the season, we're still looking pretty good on the eastern United States, so that is excellent. And again, radar is filling in some of those the dry spots with rain tonight. So I'm glad to see this in the Blue Ridge and Shenandoah Valley. So that is some great news. I know some of you have not seen rain for a couple weeks and are really happy to see some. Yes, indeed. We have a very hot PM update for you. I wrote it tonight at CWG.news/latest. We slowly and steadily build that heat and humidity this week. It is not going to be pretty. We're going to be sweating a lot. We want to stay safe. By Wednesday, Thursday, we could see some heat advisories issued by the National Weather Service for heat index apparent temperature values. When you combine air temperature with humidity, it could feel like 105 degrees or hotter this week. So stay tuned for that. We're going to keep an eye on that on CapitalWeatherGang.com. I'm Camden Walker. Thank you for joining me on these Sunday Sunset Chats. And again, just Tuesday, looking at Tuesday alone before the heat completely peaks, potentially Wednesday, Thursday this week, we could see heat index apparent temperature values at 100 degrees or so for much of the region. And keep in mind, that's important because our skin is what responds to air temperature plus these muggy, humid dew points that we're going to be experiencing at or above 70 degrees this week. So it is very important that you are hydrating, that you're avoiding the strenuous activities in the middle of the day, and follow these tips because it's going to feel muggy and gross this week. 70 to 75 degree dew points cannot be ruled out. All right. Stephanie, thanks for reporting in. Lag between video and voice. Eric can hear me now. And it was so nice last week, says Doris. Biked 75 miles on the C&O Canal. I'm ready for autumn. And thank you, Mike, and thank you, Arlene, for tuning in as well. Hopefully, I am staying in sync with you now. I am really going to have to check out the Wi-Fi issues, perhaps. All right, so please stay safe in the heat this week. I'm Camden Walker for CapitalWeatherGang.com, looking at radar, just a little bit of activity dying down in the Blue Ridge Mountains in Shenandoah County vicinity between Winchester and Harrisonburg. But you can use the rain out there, as we were saying a moment ago. Smoke continues to be an issue for this week. It is just really all over the country, quite a sight to be seen. And it's really going to be hard pressed to find spots in the country this week that are in the white smoke-free zones. It is really something to see. Most of the country covered by wildfire smoke, so we'll continue to see hazy conditions, maybe some compromised air quality at times, code yellow, code orange, but we'll of course keep you posted at CapitalWeatherGang.com as we watch that this week. And of course, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. I'm sorry if there's some lagging issues tonight, but I appreciate you tuning in for these weekly Sunday Sunset Chats. Make sure you follow us on all three. I'm simulcasting to you tonight. And thank you so much. David indeed is noticing that we've got a lot of upper 90s in the forecast. And this is just air temperature alone on this part of the forecast. So please keep that in mind. This doesn't factor in the humidity, which will be building. Dew points this week will be building into the very uncomfortable and gross category 70 to 75 degrees at times. So please keep that in mind as well. Tropics, Alan, that's a great question. Let's go check it out. We do have a couple systems brewing in the tropics right now that we're watching with a medium chance of development. Still far out in the Atlantic, no immediate impacts expected, so we have time to watch things. That's great news, but indeed we're heading toward the peak of the season around September 10th, typically in the Atlantic hurricane season, so please keep that in mind. If you're heading to the beach, you're still clear for a few days, but please stay tuned to CapitalWeatherGang.com, and you can also go to hurricanes.gov, where this great map was produced by the National Hurricane Center as well. So we'll watch that, and of course an above average season is expected, and the next name on the list is Fred, so keep that in the back of your mind as well. But probabilities are indeed for an above average hurricane season this year. So we will need to stay very much paying attention as we head towards September 10th, the typical peak of hurricane season. All right, let me check in the comments and questions. And I wrote the PM update tonight at CWG.news/latest. I'm Camden Walker for CapitalWeatherGang.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. A hot and humid week coming up, even maybe a couple strong storms, 1 or 2 strong storms possible as rain chances ramp up, most assuredly as we get toward the middle and late part of this week. Kenny, I'll talk about drought in just a moment. Peter, hello. Thank you for tuning in. David, thank you for dealing with some of the restart. I'm glad it is working when you restart the video of this broadcast. Good glimpses of the Perseid meteor shower near the 21st, Charlene. Too far out, I think, for me to predict with much confidence just yet. But I've seen most of the trend lately for some breaks in the clouds at night, so that's the good news. Al, thanks for tuning in. Most kind. Appreciate you tuning in. Rachel, try and restart the video. I'm hearing there's good luck when you restart. It syncs back up. I think there might be something with some of my it might not even be my software tonight, so please try restarting the broadcast. How long do we expect the heat in the area, Rachel? It is going to last all week. Maybe a break this weekend, fingers crossed, but as a cold front approaches the region, it may not come through this weekend for Saturday and Sunday. Let me show you kind of the extended forecast. It could still be pretty warm as we get into Saturday as well. So do I want to promise mugginess and heat abates completely this upcoming weekend? No, but this cold front that's trying to dip down out of the Great Lakes and New England toward the DC area, it may set off some 1 or 2 strong storms as we get toward the end of the week, so we need to watch that as well. Beach weather, Teresa, looks decent, so that's great. And Kenny, let's see, we've got to talk about drought. You had that question earlier. We're in decent shape. Parts of Virginia tonight are actually seeing rain. That right now they're in the abnormally dry area on this map, and slight drought in the D1, right, for moderate drought. But we're doing okay. We've got some rain there tonight on radar, which is excellent to see. Let me show that for you. Not bad to see some of this rain in Virginia and the Appalachians. But we could use a little bit more because over the last 7 days, it's been very hit or miss with these showers and storms. Look at that. Over the Blue Ridge and the Appalachians and Virginia, still a cycle of missing the rain. So that's looking backwards over the last 7 days. Again, very hit or miss. Along and east of I-95 did much better in this last coming week. But looking for the next 7 days, Harrisonburg, Roanoke, you've got some dry conditions recently, but you could expect a little bit more rain. This is heartening to see. This is good to see that we might see the pattern break a little bit with some more rain in central and the mountainous areas of Virginia as well, the Mountain and Valley region. So that's good news. And the forecast for the month looking okay for the drought and for the season, even eastern United States in pretty good shape. So nothing too much to worry about. I think it's a short-term thing in Virginia that is going to work itself out, especially if we continue to see rain on radar like this tonight. So that's excellent. All right. I'm Camden Walker over CapitalWeatherGang.com. I wrote the PM update at CWG.news/latest for tonight as well. Rachel, thank you for listening. I'm sorry if the restart didn't sync up the video with the audio. Tori, at least they're paving your streets, which will send you camping. Excellent. Tori, I hope you have good camping weather and you're prepared for the heat and humidity that we're talking about here. Above average temps for the rest of August. It is generally expected to be slightly above average, but nothing too terribly toasty. Let's look ahead just for the next work week for you, Conroy. That's a great question because I did have this map prepared for you. Next work week, not a huge signal, but you can see the light orange means a slight chance for above average temperatures into next work week, and that's when our average is about 88 over 71 for a low temperature. So that's on par. You know, if a little bit above average takes us to around 90 degrees, not terrible. I think this upcoming week will be our hottest week of August. So that should be some good news if you do not like the heat and humidity like me. When it gets toward heat index apparent temperature values of 105 or so that we could see midweek this week, I'm not a fan of that. It gets a little bit cautionary, a little bit dangerous, so we want to be careful. But overall, we can expect the toastiness to simmer down just a little bit after this upcoming week. So I hope I answered your question, Conroy. Alan, thank you for tuning in. Al Tanner, yes, we will talk about the meteor shower as we get further into August. The Perseids are coming up. And Chase, you're going to King's Dominion Wednesday. Doesn't look like a washout, so that's good. I appreciate you checking the worst case scenario off the block there, but some storms in the afternoon are possible there in central Virginia near Henrico County, north of Richmond. So do prepare with some water. Make sure you take some air conditioning breaks there at King's Dominion if you can. Hey, drink cold beverages like that non-alcoholic that can keep you hydrated. And then, yes, keep an eye on radar. By mid-afternoon, we could see a few storms pop out. But if you get down there early, you should have a good, it'll be hot and muggy, but lower rain chances in the morning hours of Wednesday. So I hope that helps. All right. What else have I missed? Please repeat if anything I've missed. Chase just answered your question. Excellent. And Stephanie, yes, done with this heat. Indeed, this should be the hottest week of August. We're generally not expecting August to go down as much above average when we're all said and done by the 31st, but at least we're getting this done in one fell swoop in 1 week, and hopefully we cool down this weekend just a little bit. I should say less hot, hopefully a little less muggy this weekend, but it's low confidence because we're just not sure here in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. Can this trough in Canada get close enough to us this upcoming weekend to cool us off a little bit? Looks like it misses us as of now. It kind of skirts off into New England and out back into the Atlantic. So we'll need to watch it. At least we'll be hopefully less hot, but the heat could recharge. It's a little bit unclear as of now for this upcoming weekend. And let me show you a couple other maps. Here's Saturday. Temperatures could be maybe around 90, but of course stay tuned to CapitalWeatherGang.com. As we get closer, the heat should ebb maybe a little bit this weekend. It's just not guaranteed. I was noticing this from the chances of risk from NOAA at the Climate Prediction Center. There's a chance the heat could get excessive, a slight chance this upcoming weekend, the 14th and 15th. So we need to keep that in mind as well. Just how things set up, it's unclear just yet. But next work week, not too bad. The signal is for slight chance of above average temperatures, and we're still around 88, 71 for this time of year. So maybe 88 to 90 degrees, not too bad for high temperatures. We should be able to hopefully keep things under control, but stay tuned to CapitalWeatherGang.com and we'll keep you posted. And of course, we're going to add plenty more days to our heat tracker, 32 and counting. Today we got to 92 degrees at DCA Airport, and that was our 32nd day this year of being 90 degrees or higher. So we need to keep a look on that, keep it watch as we add more to this week. Doris does not like the humidity. Conroy, I'm glad I answered your question. And Scott, you're headed to Maine. The weather there is looking pretty dry and good over the coming days, so that is excellent. Maybe a little bit above average for the temperatures, but you don't have much to worry about in the rain department, which I can show you over the next 7 days. For coastal Maine, pretty dry in the coming 7 days, but if you were heading into the interior of New England, most of New England looks to be more rainy than not compared to the coastline. Rachel, too early to say about September. I expect it could be a little bit above average. We'll keep you posted at capitalweathergang.com. And Jessica's asking about upper level troughs heading our way. So far this week, Jessica, the pattern is for local instability, kind of forced lifting by the Appalachians and the Blue Ridge Mountains. Those are the kind of storms that start the early part of this week. But we could see little pieces of energy move toward us in mid and late part of this week. Maybe a cold front approaches the region with that trough that scoots through New England and off of the coast into the Atlantic. Might not make it through here, unfortunately, to really cool us off for this upcoming weekend, but it is going to set off potentially a few strong storms later this week. Nothing so far looks too organized, widespread, or worth making plans around, but we just want to keep you posted. Instability does increase at the end of this week as that trough approaches. I'm Camden Walker, and I wrote tonight's PM update at CWG.news/latest. Thank you for joining me for these capitalweathergang.com weekly Sunday sunset chats. I'm on the air for another few seconds. David says ready for some snow, and Doug is asking north and west of the city. You missed the last storm, so rain north and west of the city this week. Let's take a look at that really quick. You have some chance over the coming 7 days there, Doug, but it's not too much rain to speak of. You might still want to water more often than not your crops or your garden. So we do have some rain, but I think watering might be necessary this time of year. Afternoon thunderstorms look most likely, but only a slight chance tomorrow, Shanman. And what else have I got here? We've got Tracy. Good news. This is our hot week. Yes, I'm hoping this is our hottest week of August. A decent chance. And we've got they're biking a little later in August. So far, John, I showed you the signals earlier in the broadcast. We have a slight chance of being, that's the wrong map. We have a slight chance of being above average for temperatures in that time period when you'd be biking. And I can show you just outlook, general trends without details, kind of near normal precipitation, slight chance of above average precipitation for the upcoming work week south of town. And Dingo, thanks for tuning in. And hurricane season, Robert, is looking active. We've got above average number of storms expected. The next name on the list is Fred. And right now, we're watching 2 disturbances in the Atlantic, which have a medium chance of developing.